Hi there, you're watching NAPTIP On The Move. I'm Angela Adwegi. On this edition of the program, we bring you diverse activities of the agency geared towards ensuring a human trafficking and violence-free nation. First, we start with the NAPTIP Embassy Liaison meeting held recently in Abuja.
The quarterly NAPTIP Embassy Liaison meeting, hosted by the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, UNODC, funded by the Kingdom of Netherlands, was recently held in Abuja. Welcoming all present, the Director General of NAPTIP, Dr. Fatima Waziri Azi, highlighted some of the recent activities of the agency.
So I'm happy to be here today for the second Embassy Liaison meeting for 2022. A platform created to foster collaboration in the fight against human trafficking. The need to enhance stronger collaboration with police and migration liaison officers from foreign missions in Nigeria is one which has assisted Nigeria in the identification, rescuing, and repatriation of victims abroad, as well as arrest of traffickers. Now, between January 2022 and June 13, 2022, the Nigerian Immigration Service handed over 512 Libya and Europe-bound Nigerians to our Katsina State Command. These victims are from all over the country between the ages of 19 and 35. In the area of prosecution, we have now recorded a total of 519 convictions and 22 for the year 2022. We are currently working on 4 new mutual legal assistance requests from Spain and Italy. Similarly, the agency has made 2 new mutual assistance requests from Germany. To enhance the efficiency of the judicial justice system, in collaboration with the National Judicial Institute and with support from one of our partners, FIAP, this June, we conducted a 2-day conference for judges and prosecutors in the FCT on the Trafficking in Persons Act and current trends in human trafficking. We'll be replicating this conference in the 6 geopolitical zones of the country. In addition, we are focusing on asset recovery, gain from criminal activities such as money laundering. Securing convictions is only half of the equation in disrupting the business of trafficking. Funds that fuel crime must be taken back to help those who are at risk, which is why NAPTIP is currently working on a collaboration with Western Union.
She also revealed some ongoing preventive measures.
We are engaged in continuous capacity building and sensitization for various stakeholders and partners on issues of human trafficking. Just last week, we concluded a second edition of a 3-day training for journalists who report on human trafficking issues, and this was supported by our partner, FIAP. We are currently conducting town hall sensitization for luxury bus companies, because obviously most of the internal trafficking that goes on in Nigeria is done by road. And this project is being supported by the Canadian government. In terms of partnership, NAPTIP is a partnership with Facebook and the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children to enhance tracing and diligent investigation of all cases relating to online child abuse, human trafficking, and other related crimes.
Representative of the UNODC, Ondoave Kutu, delivered a goodwill message.
UNODC has noted the ramping up of enforcement actions by NAPTIP. We've been hearing recently a lot of successful investigations and prosecutions, and that can only be as a result of the collaboration that we have had with all of you, and to encourage us to continue to have this good working relationship.
Charles Anelo represented the Honorable Minister for Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development.
The government of Nigeria, through the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, is poised to prevent trafficking by addressing poverty, underdevelopment, and a lack of equal opportunity. That means investing in people, in education, jobs, as part of a systemic solutions. Through the implementation of programs such as the Empower, Rural Women Cash Grants, JIP, Homegrown School Feeding Programs, and other components of the social investment programs. Let me conclude by thanking the DG NAPTIP, Professor Fatima Waziri Azir, for all her efforts in initiating innovative programs and projects geared towards strengthening the fight against the IP. And I wish to assure her of the full support of the ministry at all times.
The NAPTIP Embassy Liaison Meeting had in attendance 20 diplomatic missions, federal government ministries, Office of the National Security Advisor, Nigeria security agencies, and international agencies. The highly interactive forum was another opportunity for information sharing, exchange of ideas, and strengthening of partnerships to enhance the fight against human trafficking and smuggling of migrants.
Partnership is one of NAPTIP's five-prong approach in the fight against human trafficking. And it was indeed the focus of the 12th Joint Technical Committee meeting between Nigeria and Switzerland. Let's take a look.
Nigerian officials from relevant ministries, departments and agencies, including the Director General of NAPTIP, Dr. Fatima Waziri Azi, were in Bern, Switzerland for the 12th Joint Technical Committee meeting on migration partnership between Nigeria and Switzerland. The Nigerian delegation was led by Ambassador Nicholas Ella from the Federal Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Mr. Boris Mesarik, Head of Unit, Special Unit for Combating Human Trafficking and Migrant Smuggling, Crime Prevention from Federal Office of Police, Switzerland, made the opening remarks. Dr. Fatima Waziri Azi made a presentation on the institutional framework to combat trafficking in persons in Nigeria, highlighting the NAPTIP mandate, operational structure, roles of different agencies, Regulation 2019 and more. She also spoke on the new National Action Plan. While Boris Mesarik made a presentation on institutional framework to combat trafficking in persons in Switzerland. Other issues discussed were standard operating procedures on return, readmission and reintegration, victim protection, identification, referral assistance and reintegration, police cooperation and opportunities for future cooperation. Officials of different ministries, departments and agencies present made presentations on their collaborative efforts so far in the fight against trafficking in persons. There were also discussions on multilateral cooperation. At the end of the two-day Joint Technical Committee meeting, recommendations were made and the two countries resolved to strengthen collaboration. Officials from the MDAs in attendance include Federal Ministries of Foreign Affairs, Justice, Interior, Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Women Affairs, Youth and Sports Development, Office of the National Security Advisor, as well as NAPTIP, EFCC, NDLEA, Refugee Commission, Nigeria Immigration Service, National Human Rights Commission and the Nigeria Police Force.
The agency's intensified efforts in its operations has given rise to an increased number of convictions. So far in 2022, NAPTIP has secured 22 convictions. It's NAPTIP on the move.
A federal high court sitting in Yola, presided over by Honorable Justice Abdulaziz M.Z. Ankar, sentenced a 46-year-old man, Pastor Yahaya Barkindo, to 7 years imprisonment for trafficking 2 victims from Koma village, Adamawa State, to Enugu State. In a related development, a federal high court sitting in Calabar, Cross River State, has sentenced a 35-year-old woman, Glory Asokwo, from Akwa Ibom State to 6 months imprisonment for human trafficking by using children for alms begging.
NAPTIP, the Nigeria Immigration Service, and Port Health Service recently launched a joint handbook, as well as 3 training manuals for the NIS. This was made possible by the International Organization for Migration and the Kingdom of Netherlands. Don't go anywhere.
The Nigeria Immigration Service, NIS, recently launched 3 manuals and a joint handbook for NAPTIP, Port Health Service, and the Nigeria Immigration Service at the headquarters of the service. The training manuals and the joint handbook for the 3 agencies were developed under the International Organization for Migration, IOM, Training Strategy Implementation Program Phase 2, funded by the Kingdom of Netherlands. The representative of the Comptroller General, DCG Ishaka Haliru, delivered the welcome address.
Today is a great day for NIS, for us to have a good interactive forum and to even launch a manual and books for training strategy for 3 security outfits that will work together in synergy for a common purpose of our national security and to achieve the desired goal for us to have a safe nation and a safe environment, because a safe border is a safe nation. This forum will make us more united, more stronger, for us to do our work seamlessly.
The Director General of NAPTIP, Dr. Fatima Waziri Azi, commended the initiative.
Let me start by thanking IOM and the Embassy of Netherlands for this initiative that has so far built the capacity of 160 NAPTIP officers. This initiative couldn't have come at a better time, considering the incremental cases, of trafficking in persons and smuggling of migrants across the country. It is a national crisis. In the past, it used to be the problem of Edo State, it used to be the problem of Delta State, but currently it's the problem of every state. Because when we look at the records that we have in NAPTIP, disaggregated data reveals that all states is now affected. Some weeks ago, 85 victims were rescued by the Immigration Service in Katsina, and they were handed over to NAPTIP. When I requested for the disaggregated list of our nationals, they were from Oyo, from Ondo, even from FCT. There's a massive, crisis in the FCT in terms of trafficking in persons. So this is something that no one is immune to it. You might think that, okay, your children are protected. Even kids in private universities are being catfished online. This is something that concerns everyone, and this is something that we should take seriously.
Ava de Wit is the first Secretary, Migration from the Embassy, Kingdom of Netherlands.
The project aims to strengthen the training curriculum and to scale up the training program, reaching a larger number of NIS, NAPTIP and Port Health colleagues. And we hope that this enhanced capacity will allow for better detection of human trafficking and human smuggling cases, and in strengthened investigation and in prosecution in those cases, as well as a strengthened cooperation between these agencies, that I think is a central theme for today. We're very proud also of our collaboration with IOM on this and many more projects. And we also enjoy very good cooperation with NAPTIP on the fight against human trafficking.
Dr. Geoffrey Okatugo is the Director of Port Health Services of the Federal Ministry of Health.
This program, apart from building the capacity of port health services staff at the various borders, fosters interagency collaboration. And so it also builds a crop of what we call surge capacity staff at the various borders in the country. Surge capacity staff because during emergencies and pandemics, it's usually difficult for port health services alone to carry out its functions of border health security at the borders, and we need people to assist us do that. With this training, other agencies will get to know what functions port health services carry out, and in cases where port health services are overwhelmed, they could easily be brought in to assist in carrying out the function of detecting whoever is carrying an infectious disease into or out of the country, and quickly let port health services know, and such can be contained.
The Acting Chief of Mission, International Organization for Migration, Prestige Murima, spoke on the IOM's Training Strategy Implementation Program.
The TSI program is an initiative designed to promote fundamental knowledge required of every personnel of every agency here present to enhance their capacity in carrying out their statutory duties as border managers. This is a novel program that is a landmark achievement in further enhancing interagency collaboration. During the first phase that we implemented from the period of 2017 to 2019, the program established several personnel training resource centers in 7 NIS State Command offices, including the NIS HQ. In the second phase, additional 4 PTRCs will be established at 4 NIS commands. The learning process integrates multiple approaches, including experience and knowledge exchange with other experienced countries in border management field. This demonstrates the power of partnerships, collaboration, and joint prioritization and implementation.
Highlight of the event was the formal unveiling of the Joint Handbook and the 3 training manuals. Certificates were also presented to participants. The collaboration between the 3 agencies is geared towards the fight against human trafficking in Nigeria.
School counselors across the 6 area councils of the FCT were recently trained by NAPTIP on the provisions of the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act. Stay with NAPTIP on the Move.
The National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NAPTIP, recently organized a 2-day training for school counselors across the 6 area councils of the Federal Capital Territory at the NAPTIP Training Resource Center in Abuja. The Director, Training and Manpower Development, Arinze Orakwe, welcomed the participants.
The purpose is that we want to have a conversation with you on violence against persons. It's becoming a pandemic, not just in FCT in Nigeria. And we didn't think there's any tool or any resource to beckon on, to work with, to liaise with, than counselors, especially counselors in public schools.
The representative of the chairman, FCT Universal Basic Education Commission, Hajia Ramatu Musa, delivered a goodwill message.
We are actually overwhelmed with happiness for this kind of program that you introduced to us, because it will not come at a better time than now, when we are experiencing cases where we have for rape, and it increased during the COVID-19. This training will not have come at a better time. We have series of cases, and thank God it's an interactive session. We want to thank NAPTIP, especially the Director General of NAPTIP, for allowing this program to take place.
The Director General of NAPTIP, Dr. Fatima Waziri Azi, addressed the school counselors on best practice.
The role
you all play in the lives of young people, cannot be overemphasized, because your role is to nurture young minds. So as counselors, I just want to impress on every one of you, just take your work seriously. We know it's not easy. Young people depend on you. We have victims in our shelters. When you listen to their story, honestly, you will be torn apart.
She also urged them to be diligent in the discharge of their duties. The two-day training was highly interactive, as questions, observations and concerns raised by the councillors were duly addressed by the Director General and officials of NAPTIP. This synergy, which is aimed at curbing incidences of violence against persons in the FCT, will be a continuous exercise.
In collaboration with the ARC Group, NAPTIP sensitization train has moved to the transport sector. The agency first sensitized members of the ABC Transport Company. Who's next? Let's find out in this report.
As part of its preventive efforts in combating trafficking in persons through transport companies, the Lagos Zonal Command of NAPTIP recently sensitized over 300 drivers of the GUO Transport Company Limited during their drivers' seminar. The two-day activity, held at the company's headquarters in Lagos, is the second in the series of sensitization activities lined up for ongoing awareness raising, tagged NAPTIP On The Move against trafficking in persons. The project is implemented by NAPTIP in collaboration with the ARC Group, a Canadian non-governmental organization.
And finally, on a much lighter note, the management of NAPTIP recently organized a send-off dinner for retired board members. We wish them the very best in their future endeavors. Keep watching.
The management of the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NAPTIP, recently organized a send-off dinner for retired and outgoing board members. The chairman of the board, Alhaji Abubakar Gotomo, expressed appreciation to the management for the honor.
I felt very elated to be invited for this special occasion, special recognition, a special honor done by the NAPTIP management to our members in the board that have either been retired from the service or were transferred to their other offices on which nullify their membership of the board of the NAPTIP. In fact, it is very, very gratifying to me personally, because this kind of event is very much uncommon. Sometimes when a board member retired, he retire along with duty. It's up to his working place to recognize him, to appreciate him, to do whatever. But as far as I know, this is the first time I see the management of a particular agency remember those who have even gone, retired and gone. They say, okay, please come. We want to honor you. In fact, give me a lot of excitement and happiness. I'm just full of appreciation to the Director General in particular, who deemed it very important that these people, yes, they contributed to our progress.
In her speech, the Director General of NAPTIP thanked the board members for their contribution.
I just want to also appreciate the chairman, appreciate the board members. Since I came on board about 9 months ago, it's been nothing but support. It's been nothing but open arms. I know whenever I reach out to the chairman is always willing to listen to me and willing to assist. So far, I've had a very cordial and very receptive relationship with the board, and I thank you. I believe in, appreciating people that have contributed to the growth of something, and I know that past board members are also part of the story of NAPTIP, which was why when I realized this was pending, I knew it was something that we had to do. to appreciate not just the board members, the retired board members, but also to appreciate current serving board members.
It was a night of speeches as serving and outgoing board members took turns to commend the agency for the great privilege. Done with the speeches, dinner was served, and then it was time for presentation of gifts by the chairman and the Director General to Mr. Wunti Sule, former DCG Immigrations, Mr. Ntia Thompson, transferred from Ministry of Budget and Planning to Foreign Affairs, Mrs. Gbemisola Ajibade, retiree from the Ministry of Justice, Mrs. Ebun Ajiboye, retiree from the Ministry of Labour, AIG Bola Longe, represented by his daughter, retired from the Nigeria Police Force. Mrs. Gbemisola Ajibade thanked the management of NAPTIP on behalf of the outgoing board members.
This is really an unexpected, honor. I want to say thank you. That, the little efforts that you put in, it is appreciated. And, I hope you have set a precedent that others, it doesn't have to be so big, it doesn't need to be expensive, but at least let it be known that, the little that people have done is appreciated.
Directors of NAPTIP were also in attendance. NAPTIP On The Move is sponsored by the International Organization for Migration, IOM. For more inquiries and support or to report cases of suspected human trafficking, violence against persons and child abuse, please call NAPTIP hotline 0703 0000203 or the short code 627 or email us info@naptip.gov.ng. Visit our website www.naptip.gov.ng. Follow us on our social media platforms at NAPTIP Nigeria or watch our videos on YouTube.
NAPTIP has been up to quite a lot. There are so many activities, but time will not permit. Thank you for staying with us and join us again next week. My name is Angela Adwegi. Goodbye.